Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. There is a message that I want to share with you guys, and the message reads like this. Hello Brother Nashi, can you please post my story? Yes, hide my identity. I am a 31-year-old lady and I have a twin sister who is not crippled and I am crippled, and me being disabled, it was caused by an accident. Brother Nashi, we were born in the capital city of our country. We are just two in our family, me and my sister. All of my parents, they passed away. They also died in a fatal road accident which occurred when we were going to school. I was going to a boarding school, so when my parents were taking me back to school, that was when the accident occurred. And unfortunately, both of my parents, they died on that accident. And as for me, I had a broken spinal cord and I can't even walk on my own. And in most cases, for me to move around, I have to be pushed around in a wheelchair. Each and every day, my brother, your confessions keep me alive. I listen to all of your channels. So after my parents had died, I could not even go and attend their funeral because I was in hospital and was hospitalized for more than 6 months. And when I was discharged, that was when I found out that the possibilities of me ever walking, they were quite slim. I was going to be someone who will be bound to a wheelchair for the rest of my life. I cannot do anything as such by myself. I can try to cook if the stove is lowered down, and I can try to wash, but I need someone to assist me constantly. And I thank God that my sister, she is always with me. Maybe it is because the way that we lost our parents, she feels like now she is the mom and the dad in our family. My sister is the one who is taking care of me. Every day she goes out hustling, and the way that she is hustling, it is giving me a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. So this sister of mine, even though she is my little sister, but the way that she is behaving, she has such responsibility. But if only she was not a slave queen, I will be happy. And each and every night when she gets a call and when she goes out, my heart will be filled with pain, because as I am her eldest sister, I am the one who is supposed to be out there hustling for her, not for me to become more like a burden in her life. My little sister was someone who was really bright in school, but she could not go ahead with her education because she had to take care of me. My little sister started sleeping with several guys just for money when she was still doing a secondary education. At that time, it was a little bit better because the guys that she was dating, they were guys that were honest enough. Some of them would even come to me promising that they wanted to marry her. But right now, my brother, the guys that she is dating in our country, my brother, right now, there is a trend of these men. These men, they just come out of nowhere, and after a couple of years, these men, they will just disappear. In our Shona language, we call these men mbinga. These men are very wealthy and they do not have any history as to where they got their money. Out of nowhere, these men, they will be all over the social media and they will be showing off their assets, like their big cars and their money. Then it will all just disappear. My sister, she is always chasing after all of these men, because these men that are called mbinga, they are the ones that are helping my sister to take care of me. And some of the stories that she has told me, my brother, they give me so much pain, and I blame myself each and every day. I just pray to God that please, God, just end my life so that my sister can start afresh. The only reason as to why my sister is still hanging on to the way that our parents died, it is all because of me. Each and every time when she look at me and when she sees that each and every time when she looks at my disability, it just reminds her of the pain that we had to go through when our parents died, and now I am more than like a burden in her life. Some of the stories that my little sister has told me, they are scary stories. She once told me of this other story. She said there was this other time when a man came and picked her up, and the man who came to pick her up, it is one of those men that are just popping out of nowhere, those ones that are called Mbinga or blessers in English. After the men had came to pick my little sister, then they went to Kariba. When they went to Kariba Dam, the resort area, they were just chilling out. And when my sister saw that the night was fast approaching, my little sister then said to the guy, "Can you please take me back home?" And the guy said that he was still waiting for other people. And yet at that resort area, people are not allowed to be close to the dam late in the night, but they were not bothered by any securities, because there were some securities that came to the place where they had their car parked. And when they came, that man who was my little sister's blesser took out a bunch of US dollars and gave the money to those security guards, and they all went away and just chose to ignore them. And after that, there was another car. My little sister said that the car that came, it had tinted glasses, and this car, it was a Mercedes-Benz. When the car came, there were some young men that came out of that car, and there was another woman. This woman, she was heavily pregnant. He went with that pregnant woman into the bushes, and they spent a very long time whilst they were in the bushes. After a couple of minutes, that was when a blesser first came out of the bushes, and that pregnant woman was left in the bushes. What she was still doing in the bushes, my little sister said that she didn't even know, but she then heard some cries as if that woman was in labor. That was when those men that came driving that Mercedes-Benz rushed to the place where that blesser had left that pregnant woman, and when they came out, their hands were full of blood. And that was when the blesser said that it was time for them to go back home. He then got into the car and he instructed my little sister to get into the car. My little sister then asked her blesser what was the meaning of everything that had happened and why were those guys' hands were full of blood. That was when a blesser said that the woman had chosen to sacrifice the blood, that blood that comes out when a woman has just given birth. So that woman had given birth whilst she was in those bushes. So the blood that was all over his hands, that was the blood that had came out of that woman when she was giving birth. The blesser assured her that no murder had taken place, and he then said that if you want to make sure, tomorrow I am going to take you to that woman's house, and you will see that indeed she and her baby, they are still alive. My little sister said that she thought that maybe this man had killed that woman, but the following day, that man then called my little sister and said, if you want, we can go. So my little sister was really curious. She then agreed. Then they went to that place where this woman was staying. My little sister said that at the place where that woman was staying, they were staying in an area whereby a lot of poor people were staying. It is more like a shanty town. My little sister felt so sorry for that woman because of the sacrifice that she had to do. These are some of the stories that my little sister has told me, my brother. My little sister said that a blesser totally refused to tell her where he was going to take the blood or what was he going to use the blood for. My little sister would say that whenever she would try to ask what was the purpose of that woman sacrificing her blood, that blesser of hers would only laugh at her. Dear listeners, right there was a message that I received from our dear sister. It was a very hard message to translate, but we tried by all means to give you this translation. So this term that is called Mbinga is a man who is very wealthy, and there are a lot of those guys that are there now in Zim. They just come out of nowhere and they just disappear like they have never